Today we are going to see the problem number of subarrays of size k and average greater than or equal to threshold. What is the problem here given? Given an array of integers. The array contains integers and two integers are also given. What are the two integers? That is a value k and a threshold value. What are the inputs here given is an array is given. It consists of integers. And another two integers are given, which is a value k and a threshold value. What we have to return is return the number of subarrays of size k. That is, we have to return the number of how many number of subarrays of having the size means size k means, for example, we have the k equal to 3 means the array has to be consist of only 3 elements. So that is the size. Number of elements in the array we will call this a size. And average greater than or equal to threshold. We have the value threshold value, some value means if we calculate the average of the elements in subarrays, that is 3 elements in subarrays, if we calculate the averages, that should be greater than or equal to the value threshold. How we calculate average? We calculate average by sum of the elements in the array by total number of elements in the array. That is, we simply say that sum of the observation in the array, sum of the observation divided by total number of observation, that we called as a average. For this, in this array, we calculate first 3 elements of the array using sum of the 3 elements, that is 2 plus 2 plus 2, we have 6. How many elements are there? We have 3 elements in this subarray. So 6 by 3 we have 2. 2 will be the average of this subarray. In this problem we have to return the number of subarrays of size k, that is the subarray should have the size of 3 and its average should be greater than or equal to the value of threshold. So that has to be returned. So integer, the output is a integer. Input is a integer array and two integers. And how we think of this logic? We have to find the number of subarrays. What this mean by subarray means? The subarrays is the contiguous block of elements that follows a sequential. That follows a sequence. That is, in this array, we may take 2, 2, 2 as a subarray because it follows a sequence and it comes one after another. That is, it is contiguous. And 2, 2, 5 also an subarray because it is continuous and it has an order and it follows a sequence. But 2, 5, 8 is not a subarray because it does not follow the order and does not follow the sequence. And every single element is also called as subarray. We have to find the subarray of size k and that average has to be that equal to or greater than threshold. How we find? We find by using of the pattern sliding window, because sliding window can find the subarray with the size k and we can find the average. When the average is greater than or equal to threshold, we can increment the max count value. That is the number of subarrays count value. For example, first I check the subarray for first 3 elements. That is, I will sum this value. First 3 elements I sum this value, and I find the average value. When the average is greater than or equal to threshold value, I will increment the counter value. If not, I will move to the next subarray. How I move? By placing a 2 pointer in the array. One pointer is in the starting index of the array and another point is in the k index. Let I place the 2 pointer. First I'll loop from 0th element to k elements, that is less than k. I'll find the sum and I check for the average. If the average is greater than or equal to threshold, I'll update in the count value. If not, I don't update in the count value. I'll check the sum and I move the window by placing this 2 pointer. I place this left pointer, that is a start pointer here, and I place the right pointer, that is end pointer, to the kth index. That is, k means here it is 3. 3 refers to this index. Now I have to move this move the sliding window to find this average, because the first average has found to this 2, 2, 2. I have to move the window to this spot. So how I find the sum? Now the right pointer is here, left pointer is here. How I find the sum means I have to reduce the element of the left index from the sum and I add the right index element to the previously found sum. So from this I can get this window sum value, and I find the average for this window. When it is greater than or equal to the threshold, I update this in the counter. So now I move this window to here by incrementing the right pointer, also the left pointer. The right pointer has to move until the end of the array. Now the window comes here, though I have to found this sum value. Now I have to found this sum value. How I found? I have previously updated sum. From this sum, I reduce this left element array, or left pointer element array, and I add this right pointer element array. Likewise, till the end of the array, I will traverse, and I found the sum. When it is greater than or equal to the threshold value, I will update the counter. The final value has been written in the output. This is how we think of the logic. Now let's code it on a online compiler. Now I have to declare the function name. It is the output. We are having the integer data type, so I'll put a int. What is the function name? Minimum subarray. Minimum subarray. That I give the function name. What are the inputs? It is an integer array as an input. We have an array size, that is total number of elements in the array, and I have the integer k. This refers to the subarray size, and I have the threshold value, that is also an integer. Now I have to initialize the sum value to 0, and then I have to give the number of subarrays, minimum subarray. That I also initialize to 0, min count. Is equal to 0. I have to loop from 0th element until k to find the initial sum. How I find? By traversing the elements in the array. I less than k. This will find the sum of the first 3 elements. When I put k equal to 3 and I plus plus how I find the sum plus or equal to nums of I. First initially sum is 0. With the initial sum, every element is added and store it in the sum itself. And I have the 2 pointers, that is s start pointer that is equal to 0, and I have the end pointer that I first place it at a kth index, that is third index, and I'll give the while loop. The while loop has the condition when EP is less than num size. Until the end of the array, the EP has to move. When the EP reaches the end, the loop has to end. First, what I have to find is, I found the sum of the first 3 elements. First, I will calculate this average. How I calculate the average? That is sum of the elements divided by number of the elements. That is sum by k. And what I need to check first, if the average value is greater than or equal to threshold value. Threshold value. What I make first, I will make as the not min count. I will just make as a count only, because I'll just counting only the minimum subarrays only. So I'll just have the count value only. Count plus plus. Sorry. And I'll check for the condition that I have to move to the next window. So what I have to do is sum minus or equal to nums of L. The left element has to be reduced from the sum, and the right element has to be added to the sum. Now I increment the left pointer, also the right pointer, to move for every window in the array. finally we have to check the last window also, because in this input we have this pointer, the left pointer finally will place here, and right pointer will place here. It will for the sum value for this value as 18, and the L will be moved here, the R will be at the equal to 8. When R equal to 8, the loop gets over, because we have, that is sorry, the end pointer is equal to 8, the loop gets over, because we have the while loop for less than num size only. So in this input, when EP equal to 8, the loop gets over. We may not find the average for this 3 value, that is 5, 5, 8. For this last window, we have to give the condition for this outside the for loop. So if is sum by k, the final sum by k is greater than or equal to threshold, means what we have to do? We have to increment the counter. So, sorry, this if condition has to be written after the while loop. Sorry, I just said the for loop. This has to be outside the while loop, after the while loop. Now we have to return the count value. I'll just see. You just put the input nums 2, 2, 2, 4, 3, 5, 5, 8, and the num size, that is number of elements in the array, is equal to size of the total array divided by size of a single element in the array. It will give the number of elements in an array. So I have an integer k that I will give as 3. I have the threshold value that is equal to 4. I just giving min subarray. Inputs are the num size k and threshold. Just run and see. Sorry, I just gave us a SPEP, so I have to make this also SP and EP. Just little confused. Here also I'll give SP and EP. we'll just see. Yeah, there are 3 subarrays which has the average greater than or equal to 4. Which are this will have the average greater than or equal to 4. This will have the average greater than or equal to 4, and this will have this 5 comma 5 comma 8 will have the average greater than or equal to 4. So there are 3 subarrays which have the average greater than or equal to 4. And let's run this on lead code and see. Here I used the nums, so I just change it here as nums. Num size. So I'll see. All the test cases passed.